Welcome to a new episode. I am Brian and I am the Unskilled Commander. You are looking at match 3 of these 4 decks: Slivers, Landfall, Samurai, and Rograk and Kelith, the combo partner decks. So, we're going to see what happens this time around. Last time Landfall went crazy and had a good game and won. And we got some sirens going. Very nice. Thank you for that. I hope no one's hurt. But so we're going to go ahead. I roll the dice. Rograk and Kelith is going first. So that could be a very game influencing move because this is a super fast deck. Well, it's not super fast. It's meant to be a super fast deck in terms of the commanders. So going first could have a good effect on it. So we're going to draw for turn. Play Terramorphic Expanse, cracking it for a Plains. Right there, comes in tapped. Go ahead and give a quick shuffle. And then we will pass turn. Oh, wait. No, we're not. Not that it matters that much, but we will be zero costing out Rograk. Obviously, because we want him to be able to attack on next turn. Okay, gotta not go too fast. I'm trying to keep these. I want to keep the episodes short, but I can't go too fast and really screw up because then I'll just take longer when I realize my mess. Indatha Triome comes in tapped for white, black, or green. I do not have any 1-drops that can utilize that, plus it's tapped anyway, so pass turn. Draw for turn, and we're going to do a Simic Guildgate. Comes in tapped. Pass. We are drawing for turn. And let's see, I do have a turn 1 play over here with Samurais. We're going to take Plains for a Soul Ring, and then tap Soul Ring for Marble Diamond, which also comes in tapped, but taps for a white. That is a pretty solid turn 1, I'd say. We're going to pass over to Rograk and Kelith. We will play the Mountain, giving us balance for our commander colors, tapping both for Kelith. It begins, my friends. It begins. So, this time around, I'm not going to try and debate things. We're just going to go dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have done that before I rolled, but I had no intention of swinging this way, but I guess we're going to do it. So, when he goes to attack, whenever commander you control attacks, put a +1/+1. So, Rograk is now a 1/2. We are down to 39 life and 1 Rograk damage. We will then pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to go ahead and play Canopy Vista. It comes in tapped. Unless you control 2 more basics, it's taps for a green or a white. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. We will play a Forest for turn, tapping both for Lotus Cobra. You may remember that from one of the prior matchups of these decks. It's a landfall trigger 2/1 creature that says when land enters the battlefield, you may add a mana of any color. It's sort of like a little additional ramp to help get things going. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, so I'm going to play a Sandstone Bridge. Comes in tapped. Oops. I don't want to do that because when it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains Vigilance until the end of the turn. No point in wasting that just yet. So instead, I will tap Soul Ring for 2. I'm going to use one of that colorless to play Traveler's Amulet. I will then use the other to sack it and get a basic mountain, boom, right there, onto the battlefield, balancing out this land base for this commander. Shuffle very quickly as we can at least. Now, it's reveal. It goes to your hand, rather. But I haven't played a land, so I will play it, so that's good. So now we have 3 open mana. Very good, so we will go ahead and tap red and 2 others for Peerless Samurai, a 2/3, has menace. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 colorless less to cast. Not bad. So we could actually try and utilize that to get our commander out a little cheaper next turn and hopefully have enough mana to maybe cast something in addition. Let's go ahead and pass. Let's go ahead and pass like it's professional or something. Okay, we're going to play a Plains for turn. And then we're going to tap all 3, 2 white and 1 other. For Glorious Anthem, creatures you control get +1/+1. In this deck, that's going to be very, very helpful. So, now, as we've established, normally once you start with commander damage on someone, you want to stick with that person. However, Peerless Samurai, now they have a blocker. Nope, it will have B3. So we're going to go and do the smart thing. Continue to attack the same person with the same commander. Now, we don't have to. If we do with Kelith, we leave ourselves open. But I'm going to send Kelith over here at Slivers. So once they both attack, they both get a +1/+1. So, I say so too much. I got to stop that. I'm catching myself doing it now. Slivers is going to get 2 commander damage, dropping down to 38 life total. And this is 2, 3. Oh, actually, my apologies. That's not. So it's 1, 2, and 3 with the buff. So 37 life and 3 commander damage. And we are looking at 1, 2, and 3 coming over here. 3 commander on top of the already 4. Do we want to block? Because Peerless Samurai cannot destroy Ragoth. So we're going to try and play it dangerous. We're going to take it. Take that 1, 2, 3 damage up to 4 commander. And then 3 damage down to 36 health. That is all we can do over here. We're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play Rockfall Vale. Comes in tapped unless you control 2 other lands. I do, so it untaps, giving us access to 3 mana of varying colors. But not quite all the colors we may need. What I will do is I'll tap 1, 2, 3, including a red, for Blur Sliver, 2/2 that gives all slivers I control at least haste. So we do have a blocker. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how far we want to do that. We have some other slivers, but we need better colors and more of them. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Just draw 1. Going to play an island to help with the balancing. That gives us access to 3. Well, we played a land, so we actually have 4 mana right now. Unfortunately, I do not have a 4-drop spell. So we will just tap 3 and play Retreat to Kanzendu. It's an enchantment, Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. Either gain 2 life or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. In this deck, as you may have seen from the last game, if you watched match 2, that could get a lot of +1/+1 counters on something real fast. No one is currently open while Slivers is. But then that just leaves us open as well. So we're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Nice timing. We're going to play a mountain. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to play with. So let's try and do this smart. See if we can get multiple things out. Well, wait a second. Might as well just look beforehand, shall we? Let's see, you are currently a 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, it is a sorcery, so we cannot do it at instant speed, so let's do it now. We're going to tap a red. Well, yeah, I suppose the smart thing is to get our commander out. If we do it on main phase 2, it'll cost 1 less to cast, so it would be 3 mana, let's say, and then that would give us 3 other mana to do. Unfortunately, that doesn't really give us any edge at this point. So I think we're just going to go ahead and pay the normal cost for it and get our commander out. Again, I mean, we're doing it anyway, but it doesn't matter because I do not have anything that can utilize the mana perfectly. So we're going to go to combat and swing 2 over here. 38. And that's really all we can do. No, sorry, I forgot. It doesn't just affect the commander. So that actually gives us an extra combat because this is a samurai. So you will be taking 4 damage total down to 36. Cool. All right. Reading the card explains the card as we need to remember. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. No, that was just 1. And draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'm going to play another Plains for turn. Ooh, okay, that's good too. Let's see. Yeah, this should work. So first off, we're going to try and help with the mana situation. 1, 2, 3 for Spectral Searchlight. I can tap it, choose a player. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. I will then tap 1 and 1 other to play Fleet Feather Sandals. A quick creature has flying and haste. Now, I can't equip it yet, and I could have had I played it and equipped it. True, but I like this version better because it gets the extra mana out for next turn. So, we're going to move to combat and rinsing and repeating. We're sending Rograk here, Kelith there. We got to keep with what we've already started with the damage. On attack, this goes up, this goes up. So 3, 4, it's a 4/5, and a 3, so it's a 4/4. So again, now we're getting into an area where it can be dangerous to start letting it through, but Ryu can't destroy it, but there is a card in here that might help next turn. So let's go ahead one more time. As dangerous as it may be, we'll take the damage up to 8 commander and then 32 health because we're taking 4 off of Rograk, whatever. And then over here, similar situation. I don't really want to lose out on having any slivers, let alone something that gives the slivers haste. So let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take the 4 up to 7 commander damage and 4 damage down to 33 life. This is probably not the right tactics. What would you guys say? In a situation still relatively early in the game, would you sacrifice creatures to not take commander damage / normal damage? Or would you try and take the hits early so that you can build up faster and maybe have a chance at getting back? That's how I view it. But I don't know. Obviously, and like I said, I don't have the best track record in wins, so maybe it's completely wrong. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Hopefully it's a land. It's not, but it's still something we can use for it. So we're going to tap 1, 2, 3 for a Ketra Crystal. And the nice thing is that taps for green, blue, or red, so we will tap it for a blue. Boom, Gale Rider Sliver, which we really needed. All slivers have flying. So now, these two, they have haste and flying, so they could both swing out. However, I'm not sure. Well, we definitely don't want to lose flying. We're not going to use that as a blocker. And haste would be, it would be nice to keep haste as a potential, but we could conceivably throw that under the bus against Kelith on next turn and just lose out on the haste aspect. Be bad, but not as bad. So we're definitely going to swing a 1/1 in the air just to get going. Because you're attacking me, I'm going to attack you. I think we'll leave it up for the blockage and we'll pass. The blockage, you might want to see a doctor about that. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, we are going to tap a green and 1 other for Druid class. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. We will then play a forest. multiple triggers. We get an extra mana, so we have 1, 2, and 3. We'll say that floating mana is blue. Here, we gain a life, up to 41. And then we can choose to either put a +1/+1 counter or gain 2 life. I think we'll actually go ahead and use one of our Spidey dice to put a +1/+1 counter. A 3/2 is easily blocked and destroyed, but it's still a little bit of a deterrent because 3 damage can, 3 damage and up can kill a lot of creatures. So now we have 3 mana available. I can play another creature that has an effect, or I can use it to tap up the Druid class and kind of prep for the future. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to go ahead. This time we'll use this cool shield, Agents of Shield dice, and put us right here on the 2 spot. If I can find 2s, there we are. This is now at level 2. So we can play additional lands on our turn, and we have gaining life. So these are tapped, and that floating mana is gone. I still don't want to swing out and leave myself defenseless just yet, so we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play a Plains Return, so that's good. Because we definitely need some mana, because can we do it? Now, what is Rograk right now? He's a 3/4, so he's a 4/5. Do we have the mana for that? I believe we in fact do. So paying a red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, fireball for 5. We're going to destroy Rograk. Because Rograk does not have haste. So even if they play it on their next turn, for the measly 2 it now costs, it still can't swing in. So that's good. Now, I have 1 white mana open. I don't have a 1-drop. So we're going to go ahead and go to combat, definitely. We are swinging Ryu at you. It's going to trigger its samurai ability. Untap, and we're going to do another swing. So that is 6 total commander damage coming in from the samurai side. And then 6 damage here would put us at 29. Now, we do have this little adjustment. So now spells cost, the next spell I cast costs 1 colorless less. I still do not have a 2-drop, so we're fine. Pass turn. That's all we can do over there. Untap, upkeep, draw. Now I'm going to play this Needle Spires, enters the battlefield tapped because we could use some more red. And let's see. Interesting. I think we're going to do that. If we can. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, we cannot. But it's still going to be a threat. So we're going to tap red, white, and then 2 more to play. Gimme. Bruce Tarl Boorish Herder, a 3/3. When he enters the battlefield or attacks, target creature you control gains double strike and lifelink until end of turn. We're going to go ahead and put that on to Kelith. So Kelith now has double strike and lifelink. That is really good. Unfortunately, I cannot equip the feather sandals to give it flying. Like that would be really nice, but we're going to go ahead and swing. So we're going to swing. He's going to go take himself up. 3, 4, 5. He is now 5/5 with double strike and lifelink. So that is kind of bad. Since he is still on the ground, we will throw this under the bus. That will die. And then we will get... Now, see, here's a rules question. I believe, well, do I get the full 10 in the life gain? Because it's double strike, so the first strike just kills it at 5. The second 5 doesn't hit anything. So does it truly give it to me? That's a rules question I need to look up. I'm going to play, conservatively and say I just get the 5. I could be wrong on that, so we're going to go up to 34, but I don't want to go the wrong way in the other directions. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I think I get the full 10. And then that changes the entire game and who could have won when, and it was wrong. I'd rather it be wrong in this direction. It's like, well, okay. So that's a pretty solid move, though. Being able to give lifelink and double strike to these commanders is very, very good. So we're going to pass. Got untap, upkeep, draw. Now I'm going to play Shipwreck March. Shipwreck March, yeah. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. I do, so it untaps. Excellent. Well, first of all, let's do the math right off the bat, right? I've got blue or black. Okay, I've got green, I've got white. Got black, I've got blue, and I've got red. That's enough. We're going to tap everything to bring out Sliver Hive Lord, the commander. Now, all slivers are indestructible, and they have flying. So, I'm going to move to combat, and I'm going to swing 1 in the air at you again, just because. But now I have a 5/5 flying blocker that's indestructible for when you try and swing back with a flying Caliph, or a flying Rograk, or flying anything. But that's all we can do right now. We're going to go ahead. Wait, yeah, I played land, so we're going to go pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. All right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the potential for making 5 if I play a land, but the land has to be untapped in order to do that, and I do not have one. So, I said so again. I've probably been doing that every 5 seconds. It's really going to bug me, and now I've mentioned it, it's probably going to bug you. So I am going to play a Coral Atoll. Comes in tapped. When it comes in, you have to sacrifice it unless you bounce an untapped island to your hand. You know what? I don't think I registered that last time I played Coral Atoll. It counts for 2. That's why it bounces something back to your hand. So I don't think I was using that for its full mana potential last time I played it. Again, reading the cards explains the cards. Pay attention, Brian. You idiot. But regardless, a land came in. So trigger. I have won't say a blue. I now have an extra blue mana. I'm going to, you know what? Yeah, so I'm gaining life off of this. So we're going to put the +1/+1 counter on there. Just make that a little stronger. I gain 1 life off of that. And remember, I can, in fact, play an additional land on my turn. So I will play the island that I had to bounce back. Sweet. So that's actually extremely good. 1, 2, 3. We have the 4 blue floating, 5, which now makes another blue floating, which is 6. So we will use all of that mana to play our commander. Haha. Tricksy hobbitses with using the way things go. So anyway, I got the land off of that, but then I do gain 1 more life. And I get to do something here. Let's see. Now we have to think about the order of operations and how things resolve. We played the land, so the land triggers go on the stack first. Because all 3 land triggers go on the stack. And then depending on how we resolve them is where IUC would come in. Because we decide how they go on the stack. So in order to take the most advantage of this, I believe we need the life gain. No. We want the last thing to be this. Yes. So we will put on the stack putting a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then gaining a life off of Druid class, and then gaining a mana off of Lotus Cobra. We will use the 2 mana off of Lotus Cobra total and tapping all that to play Ayisi. There's no counter spells, no one stops it, so Ayisi enters the battlefield. Then we gain the life, then we're able to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, which will be Ayisi. Using an awesome extra life dice for this one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe that that's you can use the stack in that fashion to get the most out of Retreat to Kanzadu. Now, we do have ourselves a 4-3. Not bad, but I don't really know that we want to start swinging out right now. These guys are all going a little bit nuts, and they're going to take out each other, hopefully. So we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. All right, cool. Another mountain for turn. Let's see. Now then. We're not getting Samurai, unfortunately, at this point. And he does have an untapped blocker. So, I mean, gosh, okay. Anyway. What does that mean? That means nothing's going to get through. Theoretically. Well, no, we can still get through. But okay, I played that land for turn. Actually, that is an excellent point. We will not play the mountain we drew. We'll play the sandstone bridge we tried to play earlier because it enters tap, but when it enters, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. So we will put that on there. So just until the end of turn, he is a 4/4. Then, and that is a second. Right, okay, so we can play it in that sense. All right, cool. We are going to combat. We are swinging at Ryu at Rograk. It's going to untap and have a second main phase after this. So, a combat step. Combat phase. So, we are attacking. Do you block? See, where are we going? He's already got 6. And that's his double strike, and lifelink is an extremely good thing for this deck to give the commanders. I don't know that we want to sacrifice them, right? So we'll take that first 3 up to 9 commander and down to 30 life. However, it untapped and we go to a second combat phase. So we are, now any spell we play next is 1 less. But just one instance of it, regardless of how many times we attack. Now we are attacking again with another 3 commander. It is starting to get trickier as to whether or not we keep it. Or keep taking it, rather. It seems bad. That would put us to 12. But if we're going to put him at flying, another but is that we do not have Rograk on field. So even if we bring, but we can't give it haste. Okay, so that is something at least, and it will attack for that. Okay, well we'll take it because I think I've got a way to crack back. So now down to 27. However, here is what Rograk and Kellis was not expecting. Main phase 2, we are gonna for 1 less. We're gonna tap 1, 2. And red as 3 to play round 2 or seize the day. It's the cool arcane television show Secret Lair variant of it. Untapped, target creature. After this main phase, which is main phase 2, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Right? So, now we... Right, so this is not the first combat of the turn, so he will not untap himself. But it does have, sorry. I'm already forgetting, besides the vigilance, it was getting a buff of +1. So this is actually 14 commander damage. That is far more important because it is still this turn. This is still a 4/4, which is now vigilant and going for 1 more round of commander damage at 4. There's pretty much, we really can't. That would be 18 damage. And by the way, flashback, we have enough mana to do it. You have to. you have to block. Sacrificing Bruce Tarl, that doesn't get through. Now there's an additional main phase, but as I said, the flashback cost. Now I don't. That's another thing I would need to look up. I thought flashback. There was like It's surprising that the flashback cost is cheaper than the main cost without some other like discard a card or sacrifice a creature. I don't know if flashback has a normal thing like that, meaning maybe all flashbacks say sacrifice a creature in addition to, and they just didn't have the room to put it on because they do that sometimes with some cards. And I am not well versed enough in the rules of all the different keywords. So I don't want to just do it and say, oh yeah, it just costs 3, sweet. But I don't have the option to look it up right now. And if I did, I'd have to run to a different room and use the computer. And you'd be sitting here listening to dead silence for like 5 minutes, which would be stupid. So what do? This is Unskilled Commander, my friends. This is filled with constant mistakes and misplays. So we're going to do it. We're going to assume that that's what flashback means, and that if there was more to it, it would say it like there's still space. You could be like discard a card or something. So we're going to do it again, I guess. So one more time, a 4/4 coming over. There's no blockers. You're going to take the 4 commander up to 18, down to 23. Did I miss the other damage off of that? I'm afraid I do not remember. He could be 4 damage lower. So that could be a misplay right there. But with the commander damage up so high, I'm kind of focused on that right now. Regrettably, that is all there is for that. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. I guess, I don't know. Untap, upkeep, draw. Do I have another land? Thankfully I do. I have plains. Okay, so let's see. We need 2 to bring out, I should probably keep that mountain for colors. So we need 2 to play Rograk. That's all we need. Boom. We then need, we'll take these other 2 planes to equip that. So now it is flying and haste. And we have 3 mana left. And we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, choosing this for white to play enchantment, Face of Divinity. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as another aura is attached to enchanted creature. That is not an aura. It would have first strike and lifelink, unfortunately it doesn't, but that's not the point. So we've got flying, haste, +2 plus that, so it's 3. So we're going to swing. Right, because we now cannot leave ourselves open because of Ryu, which means we cannot deal with Slivers right now. So this is going to be, if we do this, it would get the plus from there. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would only be 4 commander damage, but that would put that at 12. And that is still pretty good. So I say we go ahead and do that. That's going to up this to 12. Where is the 12? There it is. Boom. And that's going to be 4 more damage off of here, down to 28. All right. These 2 are getting real close to eliminating each other off of commander damage. We're going to have to, we have no other mana. We have nothing for last minute tricks. We're going to have to go ahead and pass, unfortunately. Now, here's a chance for Slivers to start pulling ahead and just snipe everybody. So we're going to draw for turn. I'm going to play Rejuvenating Springs. It comes in tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. I do, so it untaps. And since I do have, creatures out, my main one of everything out, I don't know that I really care so much about too much else. Okay, let's do that for prep. I like it. It's just, well, yep, I forgot. They do not have haste. So we're tapping 1, 2, 3 for Zagoth Crystal. I really like the crystals, especially in 5-color decks. So then anyway, we're going to tap for white. 1, 2, 3 to play Essence Sliver, which you may remember from one of the prior games. Now my slivers have a variation of lifelink, although it's not literally called lifelink. So if I have one of the slivers that says all slivers have lifelink, I would gain double life because they are two separate things. Because this just says when a sliver deals damage, its controller gains that much life. The other sliver would actually say all slivers have lifelink. So it does count as two different instances of gaining the life, which is pretty awesome. Now, what is our best move? We could try and see if Samurai are going to finish the job on slivers and maybe start focusing on Landfall, which is probably a smart move. So I believe we will try that. We're going to swing 2 flyers at you. It's a total of 6 damage with 5 of it being commander. So that's a pretty solid hit commander-wise, but we're going to go down by 6. So that is going to put us at 37 total life. And we are gaining 6 life over here, which is bumping us up to 39. We do have a 3/3 flying indestructible open for blocking, and we're going to pass. All right. This is where we need Landfall to see if it can start doing something crazy, although, okay, well, we do have some setup, and I suppose we should play it the smart way first. Boom, Evolving Wilds, and you know this trick. Let's take our triggers. We're going to gain a green, we'll say. We're going to gain a life up to 38. And we're going to... I think maybe this time, because we know we're going to do it again. So we're going to gain the life off of retreat, and we get to draw a card because we played a land. That should be all of our land triggers. 1, 2, 3, and 4 different triggers. Yes. Now we will sack the Evolving Wilds to get a blue, an island rather, which will go on the battlefield. Tap, shuffle library real quick. All right, another round of 1, 2, 3, 4 triggers. We're going to now add another green, so that is 2 floating greens. We'll use this just temporarily to denote that. We're going to draw a card for turn. We're going to gain a life off of that up to 41. And then we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on Icy. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to play with. Interesting, okay. I think that's a good one. So we're gonna use the 2 green, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 green and 1, 2, 3, 4. To play Rampaging Balos. They are a 6/6 with trample, very important, especially if we start dumping counters onto it. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Start playing a whole bunch of lands on one turn, you've got yourselves a little army out of nowhere. We can attack with one very large 7/7 commander, or a little 4/3 Lotus Cobra. However, at this point, I'm not entirely sure it's important. Because we swing both of them at slivers, let's say. blocks the big one, 4 gets through. That's something. I think maybe we should, because this is kind of, we know these guys, everything's going to be, it's starting to get to cluster level where everyone can attack everyone for no reason. So we're going to send these at you to get that life level down. Obviously, you will block the 7/7, but it's indestructible, so this 3/3 is not going to die. And it does have heal, basically. So it's going to go up by 3. We're going to gain 3 life. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4 damage we'll get through. So we're only going to lose 1 cumulatively. So that really didn't do much. And we now only have 1 blocker. But he was already sending the flyers at us. So it's not like we're going to incur his wrath beyond, out of nowhere. That is all we can do. So we're going to pass turn. I don't believe I missed anything. Correct? I definitely drew 2 cards off of that. I know what, actually 3. So I know what I drew. No, 2. I knew what I drew. I gained 2 life for sure. I put the counters. I did the other life. Yeah, so we're okay. Untap over here. Upkeep, draw. We're going to play the mountain for turn. Ooh. This actually is not helpful right now. Regrettably, I pulled Change of Fortune, which is nice. Discard your hand, then draw a card for each card you've discarded. But I only have 1 other card in my hand. It's kind of a waste to spend 4 mana to draw 1 card and get rid of what I do have, which is Austere Command, which is a very nice board wipe, which I could afford, but I also have creatures on the field, so it's kind of something that I want to hold on to as a last-ditch effort, basically. And by leaving my mana... Now, it is sorcery, so I can't do it at instant speeds, regrettably. But by leaving the mana open, it could theoretically bluff other people to leave you alone. Not in this case, necessarily, because, of course, I am the other people. But you get the idea. Okay, so it would be foolish to not try. So we are going to... Although, is it? Because Caliph is now a 5/5. 3, 4, 5. So, yes. Attacking with Ryu would just get Ryu killed. But unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 17 more, a total of 17 commander damage on the crack. But what else do we do? Like, I mean, that doesn't help us. Like, unless I get something really good. I imagine this flashback is not, like, forever. It's probably exiled after you flashback. So, like, I mean, otherwise you just flash it back a million times. I know buyback is something that you can do if you continue to, buy back, like constant miss with buyback. Something you can continue to do, but I don't believe flashback is like that. Sure, okay. Unfortunate. Samurai still has not really shown you what it can do. I mean, I can blow up the board, which is probably a good idea at this point. We don't want Raging Balos. But, hey, here's the thing. Austere Command does not get rid of the Slivers. In fact, playing Austere Command just gives the game to Slivers because everyone else will destroy, creatures will destroy, and now you've got all these things that can just go swinging in for whatever. So it's really not in my best interest to do that either. And they can just keep blocking. So yeah, it's not good. I'm going to have to go ahead and pass. I've got no real options. I mean, okay, I can do the Change of Fortune just to get 1 card. And I guess that is our only real option at this point. We'll play it to discard your hand and draw 1 card. Cool, it's a land. I already played a land. That doesn't help us. Pass. So we're untapping, upkeep, no upkeep triggers, draw. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to have to do. So, make sure they are 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay. So we're going to move to combat. We are going to swing Rograk at you. It's in the air, so on attack, it goes up. On attack declaration, it is flying, haste, and gets +2/+2, and then the boost from Glorious Anthem. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have no flyers, you cannot block. In response to you not blocking, I'm going to tap 1 to give it Samut's Spirit. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. I get to scry 1. I will leave that there. Okay, so let's keep track. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts us at 19. We need 2 more damage. Guess what? I have 2 more damage. So we are then going to tap a white and 1 other for a Moment of Heroism. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn, which is very important. That puts it at 11 damage, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 9 damage. 9 onto 12 is 21. That is lethal commander damage. I'm going to gain 9 life. So that's going to put us at 32. And samurai fall on their swords in death, unfortunately. Very poor showing so far, I think, from all 3 games, which is upsetting because, like I said, I really love this deck. It should perform better. But that means I need to reevaluate it because I think it needs to be focused more, perhaps. I put a lot of really good samurai and warriors in here, and there are a lot of board wipes, but I think maybe I need to either take out the few instant and sorcery boost spells that I have, or maybe add more of them to kind of mirror this a little bit, where it's like, cool, Ryu's swinging in. Okay, he's only a 3/3. You're not going to block? Sweet. I'm going to dump all this stuff onto him, and now he's going to sling for that, and 8 or 9 instead, and there's another combat later that deals another 3. But they're dead, so we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. No upkeep triggers. We are going to, let's see. Yep. I unfortunately missed that cutoff, so to speak. Yep. Okay, so we really don't have much to play. So we're going to tap a black and 1 other to play Leeching Sliver. Whenever a sliver you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life, which is nice. I'm going to play Rakdos Carnarium, which is taps for black and red, but I have to bounce a land back my hand, so I will bounce Shipment Marks because it will untap when I play it. Well, theoretically, wait a second. That's as long as you control 2 or more lands. Yes, that's what we want because we have 2 or more lands. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot do anything with any of this mana. And no one is getting any buffs, which is also unfortunate. Now, you do have nothing in the air, but you are at 32 life. I have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 damage, and when they attack, defending player would lose 1 life, so it's 14 damage, but it would leave me drastically open. And we don't want that because we know that that's over there. So I think our best bet is to go like this. We are going to send these 2 at you. We're keeping these back for blockers against that monstrosity. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 dings right off the bat at down to 30. But like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the air puts you at 22. 2 and 2. Now, this was from you, so that's no longer a concern, but you are getting 5 now from Sliver Hive Lord that you may need to worry about. Who knows? Unfortunately, that's all we can do. We're going to pass. I don't know. What do you think? Who's your bet for right now that we've gotten rid of Samurai? I'm thinking Landfall is still going to do it. if I can start getting some landfall or land creating cards like I did last game, we'll make a ton of ballast. But if we don't, we're going to be kind of crap out of luck. Going to draw for turn. No, that's good. That's very good. Okay, so what do I have land-wise? I have, remember, this Coral Atoll Enunciate taps for 2. So we need to keep some greens, and okay, so yes, but we have enough, so this is going to be working and it's going to be fun. Tapping a green and 2 for 3 total. Grazing Galeheart, 2/2, landfall. When land enters the battlefield under your control, gain 2 life. All right, let's go ahead and gain some life. We're going to play a Blighted Woodland. Land enters the battlefield, triggers for everybody. We are going to make 1 green mana. We are going to draw a card for turn, or draw a card rather. That's a good one. Very good. We are going to make a 4/4 beast. We are going to gain 2 life, up to 43. We are going to gain a life off of that, and then we can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature we control. Why not put it on this new beast we just played to make it a 5/5? Sounds reasonable, right? And I think you know where this is going to go. We're going to tap all 4 and crack Blighted Woodlands to go get 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped. So we're going to do all of that 2 more times. I'm going to, now they do come in tapped, so I'm going to get a forest and an island, but those are 2 separate instances of lands coming in. So we are going to have to take a few seconds and do all of that 2 separate times just to keep track. Once again, we are going to make, you know what, let's try and keep things even. We're going to make a blue mana off of that land coming in. We're going to draw a card. Oh, another decent one. We are going to make another 4/4 beast token, but guess what? I'm going to jump ahead and put the counter on it. We are going to gain 2 life off of you to 46, and then gain another life off of you to 47. We took care of that land there. That is everything. Now, we have 2 mana open. Unfortunately, I do not have any lands in my hand, surprisingly. So what I will do is I will use this 2 mana to play this Arcane Signet. I will tap this Arcane Signet to play a Rune Crab. Now these have Summoning Sickness. These boys do not. So we've got a 6/6, a 7/7, and a 4/3. Where do we want to send them? Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. We're going to send the 6/6 with Trample over at Slivers and the 7/7 that does not have Trample at you. So let's see you declaring blockers. 6/6. It's almost not important, but we're going to stack block because they're indestructible, so who cares, right? But that'll drop the damage down to 4, so we will go to 34. And as for 7 commander damage coming in over here, we can block it, and there is no trample, so it doesn't get through. However, and we've got all these flyers, so kind of a moot point. And I think on their turn, they're going to want to do something, because I think if I was Rograk, I would kind of be accepting defeat at this point. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I can survive. Granted, these are not getting a boost currently, but it's still, again, it's going to be 8 damage, 10 damage. You know, this could send again, but I want to do something. I have the potential to do more on my turn. I'm going to go ahead and take the 7 commander. So that is going to go down to 15. Now, the point is, though, 1 more sliver on the field, and that could very well be demise, right? But by blocking, you could survive. However, you are now down in terms of creatures. It's a whole thing, to be honest. And that is just for, the sake of being thorough, that is 7 commander from over here. Landfall is going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. All right. Fortunately, we don't have, well, we do have trample on Rograk. 47 versus 34, there's really no major point in going. Now, can I give trample to anything else? No, see, that is unfortunate. We are going to go to combat. We are swinging. My point being, there's no reason to swing Kelith, unfortunately. Because it'll buff himself 1, it'll be a 5/5, but it's no trample, no flying, no nothing. It can't get through the indestructible guys. It could take out a Bela, a beast, or, if I blocked with the Lotus Cobra, but why would I do that? Because it's really helping right now, etc. There's no reason. Or I could just take it, because who cares? And then leaving myself completely defenseless. So Rograk is our best bet because it is flying, though those are flying as well. It goes to combat. This goes up by 1, so it is a 3. Wait, did I do that just now? Or was that from the last time? Hopefully that's not a misplay. I hope that is the first time I moved it up this turn. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. You are declaring blockers, so you're going to stack block. Why not? Because it's trample, and you have to because of menace. Cool. In response to you declaring blockers, I'm going to tap 1 for Defiant Strike and tap 1 for Moment of Triumph. Make sure I didn't know those sound familiar. Nope, I didn't already play that. So we are getting another +1/+0, and I draw a card. Cool. Another instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 in the turn and gains, and you gain 2 life. So I go up to 17. Now what do I get? Nice. I will do that for sure. Can I though? Oh no. Yes, I can. Boom. Because it's an instant and I drew it on, that thing. So in response to these resolving, I am going to play Celestial Flare. Target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. Clearly, I'm not going to give up flying, so I'm going to have to sacrifice a Leeching Sliver. So that does help. So that means more trample is going to get through. So we are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 commander damage coming in. This will just move this over to there. But more importantly, well, it's actually going to be 8 commander damage getting through. So 8 damage, 4 down to 30, another 4 to 26. So that was a really solid hit. That was a good move. We drew a card, we gained some life. That's as best as we can do. We're still probably going to die, but that was a solid hurrah. Pass turn. We are untapping. Upkeep, no upkeep triggers. Draw a card, do not be useless, basically. Shipwreck Marsh, we know it comes in with the tapping and the untapping. We will tap 2 for Arcane Signet, doesn't help us. I have a Electrolyze Blast spell in here, and see, this is one of the things, like, when I made it, the deck, I called it Beautiful Strangers, because it was the Slivers of the Strangers, and then I put a bunch of my beautiful full art and or foils into it. And I just love this Electrolyze, but it's kind of like useless for most of my decks, but I wanted to put somewhere. I'm like, I'm sick and tired of not putting this in a deck just because it's not amazing. It deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any 1 or 2 targets, and you draw a card. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna play it. I'm going to tap red, black, and blue to play Electrolyze. I'm gonna do 2 damage to your face, putting you down to 15. And then I get to draw a card, so maybe that'll help. Well, sort of. We will tap a blue for Ponder. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library, then you will draw a card. Okay. These we don't need. That's interesting. I think, yes, we will put these 2 on the bottom. Wait, put them back in any order. You have to put them back. Okay. So I'm going to put them like that, and then I'm going to draw a card for turn. All right, draw a card off of Ponder, sorry. I'm going to tap for green to play Virulent Sliver. It has all sliver creatures have poisonous. That's all creatures, not just yours. All slivers. So what that means is whenever a sliver deals combat damage to a player, that player gets a poison counter. A player with 10 or more poison counters loses the game. Unfortunately, there's no buffs, but it is a 1/1 flying, indestructible, lifelink-esque poison sliver. So that's pretty solid. If you're wondering what I have Semester's End, which is a really nice 4-drop that could basically like bounce my entire my entire board state essentially, and target creatures. Exile any number of target creatures or planeswalkers you control at the beginning of the next end step. Return each of them to the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counters and loyalty of its planeswalker. Meaning, if someone drops a board wipe, I drop that, my board comes off, the board wipe hits, I put them back down at the end step. However, I do not have enough mana to pull that off if someone were to do that at this stage. So we're going to move to combat. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 available. They do not have haste. So I wonder I hope I didn't mess that up. No, I haven't played a sliver for a turn or two. So it's only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is not enough to kill you, and I don't even have the bonus stuff over there. So now we kind of have to start holding back, which is unfortunate. So I will send Sliver Hive Lord over for 5 damage, dropping you to 10, and upping your commander damage to 10. Where in the heck is there it is? 10. But we're going to need these indestructible guys to stop, a swarm of beasts coming in. That's unfortunately all we can do, so we pass. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. There are no upkeep triggers. Okay. So, keep saying that. What we're going to do is we are going to tap 3. Actually, what we better do is this. Do that to make 3 mana to play Scoot Swarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You control 6 or more lands, so that's about to go off and start doing some nastiness. Regrettably, I still do not have... Well, I do. Okay, that's good. I'm going to play a Reliquary Tower. We have triggers. Let's go ahead and start this in order. I'm going to make a green mana. I'm going to draw a card off of Aisi. Nice. I am going to make a 4/4 beast that I will pump up with this. I'm going to gain 2 life here to 49 and gain 1 more life off of that to 50. And I am going to make another Scoot Swarm. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. So that's both of you. Mill, mill, and mill. That's probably not good because it's probably just going to get them to slivers quicker. Oh, 2 different, lockdown spells. All right. So that did that. We can play an additional land thanks to Aisi. So we will play a forest. That is going to make us a island. We get to draw a card off of Aisi. We are going to make another 4/4 beast, which we will +1 to make a 5/5. I'm going to gain 1 life off of that and 2 life off of that, up to 53. You are both going to mill another 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm making another Scoot Swarm. Okay. Now let's look at our state. We played 2 lands thanks to Aisi. I can play an additional land on each turn. So in order to do that, I will go ahead and burn the 2 mana floating from Lotus Cobra to play Evolution Charm. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Whichever one we find first, we are finding an island first. That's going to go into our hand. We will shuffle the library quickly. Maybe quickly. All right, so this island is now in my hand. I can play one additional land for a total of 3, but I actually have Command Tower in my hand, so I will play that. Triggers. Going to make a green. Going to draw a card thanks to Ayisi. Going to make essentially another 5/5 beast thanks to these 2 cards. So let's remember that these 2 beasts are ready to go, but these 3 have summoning sickness. And we're going to gain 3 life up to 56. We're going to make another Scoot Swarm, and then everyone's going to mill another 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's see where we're at now. I'm going to pay 2 to play Gretchen. I'm running out of the room here. Have to condense up a bit. Gretchen Titch Willow. 0/4, but I can pay 4, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. And I don't have to tap her to do it, so you can do that as soon as she comes in. So I'm going to tap that for a color, so we'll say the blue, or the green. There's the blue. There's 1, 2 others. To draw a card. Nice, and I will play a land onto the battlefield. An island. Guess what, guys? You got it. Triggers. Draw a card because of Ayisi. Make another 5/5. Oops, hang on, 5/5. Get these over here so we can see them. Gaining another 3 life up to 59. Making another Scoot Swarm. Milling for another 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm definitely thinking if we can get to one more turn on Landfall, they're going to have enough creatures to go swing in and do it. Now, for one last, right, we did everything. We got those things triggered, those things triggered, those things triggered. We're good. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. That's enough. I'm going to tap everything and play these, use that too, to then play Verdant Sun's Avatar. One of the big ones from this. It's a 7-drop, it's a 5/5. When Verdant Sun's Avatar or another creature enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So that means every one of these little guys that comes in, everything that comes in. So we are going to gain 5 life up to 64. So basically at this point, you're looking at commander damage if you want to win. Or just a boatload of damage in general. Okay, so I know, I hear it every time myself. These came in. I'm not going to swing with a 0/3, and I'm not really going to bother with a 2/2. These came in. I have 2 5/5s, a 6/6 with trample, a 7/7, and that little guy. We have to go to attack. We have to start swinging. The question being, where? Well, let's think. The only one with trample that's going to get through is here, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 1 damage would get through, but damage is damage. These guys, 1, 2, 3, and might as well even send 4 in that direction. You've got 1 blocker. You're going to block the 7/7. That's 10, 14 damage. You're at 10 life. There's your attacks. No. Rograk and Keleth are dead. Done. Gone. And 1 measly damage gets through over here because we stack block and they're indestructible, so it doesn't matter. Now, poisonous is not quite the same as infect, I believe, because it doesn't say anything on there about what it does to creatures. But I think for just the intent, like we can look that up later. We can discuss it in the comments. But we're going to assume that poisonous is similar to infect in the sense that it does the same effect on creatures, because it's the same effect for players. 10 poison counters, 10 infect, which give poison counters, you're dead. Infect does not do damage to creatures. It puts -1/-1 counters on them. So this is now technically a 5/5, we'll say. That could be wrong. We'll need to look that up and discuss it. But that is your landfall turn. I don't believe there's anything else we can do. We're going to have to pass. But unfortunately, Slivers is going to have to do something real fast if they want to survive, because we're about to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5/5s coming over for 30 damage all by themselves. Regrettably, I didn't pull anything good. We could just tap 3 for a Bonder's Ornament. Well, we can tap 4 and tap said Bonder's Ornament to draw a card. And we do draw a Sliver, and we draw a pretty nice Sliver, but I don't know that we're going to survive long enough to play it because we do not have the mana for it. We only have 3 mana, it costs 4, and we also need a blue. Well, that could be blue, but it's a shifting Sliver. Slivers can't be blocked except by Slivers, so that essentially gives them, unblockable. So now, from the Sliver perspective, what is even... Now, there is no flying or reach over here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 damage, great. 64, it's not going to matter. And only 5 of it's going to be Commander. There's no way to catch up. And that would put us completely open, and the crackback would be insane. However, I think it might be concede time, because it doesn't matter. Regardless of what we do, we swing nothing, we swing everything. There is no reason to not swing the board in this direction, especially when we clearly see they're tapped out except for 3 mana. They could totally have something. We don't know. But there's a point where you have to, just go with it and stop being ooh, be strategic and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, just swing. End the game. Because, okay, so these two are 0-4 and a 0-3, so they're not actually going to swing. We do have 5 1/1s. We have a 2-2, a 5-5. 30 damage right here, 35 damage right here. Another 5, so 40 damage right there. So 45 damage right there. You know what I'm saying? It's 30, 35, 40, 45. 50 something, almost 60 damage online. And that's not counting how we play, and maybe boost up with +1/+1 counters on who knows what kind of craziness we get on the next turn. So swinging out with Slivers is pretty much an admission of defeat, because you're open, you're gonna die. But again, we've established through my other games and some games that you haven't seen yet that are coming up in the weeks ahead, I know I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna swing because I don't like to go down without fighting. So bing, 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 right? They're all in the air. There's no stopping them. Take 10 damage, although technically not. It would down to 54, but it's actually 55 because one of them is a poison counter, not an actual damage. So, okay, that's it. Pass turn. Just because I enjoy the way the Landfall deck functions, I want to see if there's anything crazy. I do have I have 2 lands. So I play it, draw a card off of Aisi, play another land, draw another card off Aisi. Wow, it's all lands. Play a land because I get 1 more from Druid class, draw another land. Cute, but not really part of the fun there. Meanwhile, we've just, made 3 more beasts. We put 3 more counters on here. So now we'll take, it negates, counteracts, whatever you want to call it. It's now an 8/8 again. You're up to an 8/8. We've gained 9 life. So we gained what you took from us. So we're back to 64. Made 3 green mana, let's say. We made 3 more beasts that are all 4/4s. So guess what? That's another 4 times 3. That's 12 life, thanks to Verdant Sun's avatar. So that's a 76 now. 2 life off of this, 1 life off of that. Yep, those things would get counters. 3 more 5s, essentially. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4 to draw a card. I mean, that's cool. So we would play the Territorial Scythe Cat. And you can play 1 more land. You play a land. That gets a +1. We make another one of them. Another 3 life, which would be 4 life, 7 life. Another +1/+1 over here, even, just for the trample effect. What, that's 4, that's like 9 over here. Yeah, swing the board, you're dead. Boom, done. Game over. Crash, smash. So there you are. The winner of match 3 between Slivers, Landfall, Samurai, and Rograk and Kelith is Landfall. I believe that makes Landfall the 2 out of 3 winner for this matchup, this set, which is pretty impressive. I'm thinking in the future, when this sort of thing happens, I want to actually make a match of all the 2 out of 3 winners. We have Squirrels from the first matchup was 2 out of 3. Well, I shouldn't say that because you haven't seen those yet. But now we've got, or you would have at this point because this is the last game of the first 4 sets. So yeah, and then so Squirrels versus Landfall versus To Be Determined, because that could be a fun matchup to see how the best of the best does within my decks. Once again, what did you think? How can we make Samurai better so that they function faster and get more out? You know, Rograk and Kelith, again, because I don't go with the equipment or even enchantments as hard as the perfect deck list for it should be. I still think it's I still see it working right if I can just get the balance out. Because you saw a bunch of 1 and 2 drop instant buff spells did some damage, especially if I'd have been able to keep that guy out that gives a creature double strength and lifelink when attacking or whatever. That could have been some serious like 1 KO hits. So it's there. The potential is there. I like how I built it. I don't want to build it like everybody else. I just need to get the balance going better. Slivers are dangerous and scary, but as you can see, a 5-color deck slows it down. And they still did good. I just didn't get any of the buff Slivers out that make them bigger. If they had been bigger, this game would have been completely different. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching if you're out there. I hope you enjoyed yourself at least, made fun of my poor skills at Magic deck building and deck playing. If not, I hope you learned a little something, maybe got some ideas for a deck you want to build or ways to tweak your own decks. I'll see you next time.